We are live. Thank you guys for joining this live stream. So in this week, we are going to see about how you can contribute to open source. So last week, my laptop got crashed, so I was not able to schedule any live sessions, or I could not do any community related work. But yeah, I got a new laptop actually. I cannot show you, but I'm going to switch to this Asus VivoBook. So this has Fedora. So I'm going to move from Windows to Linux pretty soon because I spent some $1,200 or so to for Lenovo, and Windows driver got crashed. So I'm not pretty happy about that. So thought of moving from Windows to Linux full time. So eventually I will be moving it. So this laptop I got it from Micro Center for about $300. It has Intel launch generation and 8 GB RAM. It's pretty decent laptop. And I also saw this mini laptop. It's called Evolve 3. So this I picked up for $60 in Micro Center. So this is what I'm using to teach Linux for my kids. So it's pretty decent. It has very lightweight Linux. So I'm going to move from Windows to Linux pretty soon. So that's it about my laptop purchases. So now let us come back to our community related topic. So today I'm going to show you how you can contribute to open source, and then we are going to see how you can raise defects to JMeter team. So I have found some two defects. It's not uh, very high priority defects, I would say, but for the demonstration purpose, yes, definitely it will be very useful for you guys. And uh, 2 weeks ago, my kids fell sick. It's not a COVID related thing, it's just a normal cold and cough. So 1 week I spent almost with them, and now they are okay. So now I'm back to community related works. So now let me start sharing my screen. I hope you can see my screen. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. I think there is some glitch. Let me share it again. I think I need to share the whole screen. Are you able to see my screen, guys? Any of you, please let me know in the chat. I'm trying to share my screen here. There is some glitch. Let me try again. There is just a glitch actually. I'm not able to share my screen. Let me try again. Are you able to see my screen now? I hope. Mrinal, are you able to see my screen now? Okay, I hope you can see my screen. So let us get started. Sorry for the delay. It's a new setup. Actually, my after my laptop crashed, I need to reinstall everything. So I'm still getting there. Okay, so now let us get started. So before we go, let me just announce our sponsor. So our sponsor is redline13.com. So if you want to run high scale load testing on your own infrastructure in JMeter, you can definitely check it out, redline13.com. So without further ado, just let me hide all the elements and then let us get started. Okay. So if you go to this link, let me just paste this in the chat. So this link has the quick instructions about how you can get started with the contributing to open source. So we use open source products like JMeter or any piece of software if you are using it from a GitHub or a GitLab or Bitbucket. So it has some license associated with it. So in open source, there are various types of licenses are available. So we are going to learn how you can start contributing back to the community so that it might be your passion, or it might be related to your work, or it might be your learning things. So it could be anything. But people usually, initially, including me, we were little hesitant to contribute back to the project which we are using. So in the early days of JMeter, when I started working on, I never really cared about reporting defects, or give some back give something back to the project team and so on, because we just use it and then we just forget it. If any issues, we might report or we might not report. But contributing back to open source will enhance your skills. You can learn so many things, how the product works, communication, bug reporting. So there are so many things you can learn. And this particular guide, open source guide slash how to contribute, so this has excellent resource on how you can start your journey towards contributing towards open source projects. So people always think, okay, if it is open source, it is only about coding, but it is not. Coding is core part, but apart from coding, if you are not expertise in any language or any scripting, right, you can contribute in various other aspects. For example, if you want to contribute to, say, design, or you want to design some logo or some images, you can definitely contribute. Or if you are a tester, you can definitely test the beta version or alpha version of the products, and then you can report it in the issues. Or you can even teach or write anything about the open source project, or you can contribute to the documentation. So there are so many aspects are there when it comes to contributing to the open source projects. So what I have listed, just a pinch of a salt here. And to get started, you need some basic knowledge about how Git works. And then you should have an account with GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket, whatever the version control system the project is using. You have to know some basic knowledge about that. Again, you should not be a really expert on using Git commands or GitHub commands, but some just navigating in and around will help you out in contributing to the open source projects. So to demonstrate how you can contribute, we are going to take JMeter, because that's what many of us are using for performance testing and other purpose. So let us take JMeter, and then let us see how you can contribute by reporting the defects which we are going to find in JMeter. And then we are going to report two defects actually I have found in the past couple of weeks. Just navigating around, you can easily find defects. It might not be very high priority defects. Even if it is a low priority or trivial, definitely you can report it. And if it is a valid defect, definitely the community will pick that item, and then they will be fixing it in the upcoming releases. So for JMeter, uh, only one thing you need to have an account with Bugzilla. So community, JMeter community, they are going to move from Bugzilla to GitHub issues pretty soon, but I'm not sure when it is. But in the background, there are already some processes going on. But as of now, for the demonstration purpose, let us use Bugzilla. So just go to uh, just search for JMeter Bugzilla, or you can directly go to Apache Bugzilla website. And here you can see issues.apache.org. So just go to this link and sign up for a free Bugzilla account. So this will take you to this page, and here you can see known bugs and enhancements, and just click on the link all open bugs and enhancements. So this will take you to the Apache Software Foundation Bugzilla page, and here it will list out all the open defects of JMeter. So here, since I already logged in, as you see here, I have already logged in. But if you are new to contributing or reporting any bugs to JMeter, then definitely you need to create a free account. And before raising any defect, I would prefer to search whether the defect is already reported or not. Otherwise, your chance of getting the report as duplicate, your bug as a duplicate, is highly 100% chance they flip your status to duplicate. So make sure your defect is unique, and include as much as detail as possible while reporting it, and make sure it is clear, and select accordingly whichever you think, whichever the priority or criticality falls. So select accordingly, and also the operating system, Java version, and other critical things you need to include. So now let me just launch my console here, and I'm going to run few commands. So first thing, let us get the Java version. So I always use OpenJDK 11. So this is what here you can see. And let me launch JMeter. So if you are first time launching JMeter, you need to download the zip file and then you have to extract it. And only prerequisite is you need a JMeter. So I already posted numerous videos about how you can get started with JMeter. So please check it out my YouTube channel. So here I have set some alias for JMeter. That's why if I type JMeter, it will automatically pops this window. But if you are not setting any alias, then you need to navigate to bin, and then you have to launch jmeter.sh in case if you are using Mac OS or Linux. In case of Windows, you have to use jmeter.bat. So now, so this is my jmeter 5.5. So here I have found a trivial defect. Basically, it's not uh, much of importance, I would say, but it's always good to report. And somebody who are new to contributing to JMeter, or entry level developer who wants to contribute, or a student, or you, anybody can take this trivial defect and then they can try to fix it. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this help button. So if I click on this help button, nothing will happen. So right now I am in, I'll show you my Linux distro. So if you use cat etc os-release, it will list out the distro details. So I am using Fedora Linux 36 version, and I'm running in VirtualBox. So this is the details you might need while reporting the defect. And again, as I said before, reporting any defect, we need to make sure it is not present. So let us go back to the our browser, and you can just search for help button, say not working, some related terms for your defect, and then this will give you the any bugs are found or not. So in this case I don't see any defect listed already reported. So let us just search for help button and let us see anything is available or not. So I don't see anything here. So because this project is for log4j, it is not JMeter. So if you want to specifically search, you can again you can filter out by the products here. So just click on search and select the status as open here. So let me just zoom in and select the product as say JMeter, and then you can just say help button, something like this. So in this way, you can make sure it is not really logged in. So here you can see now there are so many things, but if you just browse through high level reading the summary, and then you can easily get to know. I'm 100% sure it is not there because I already searched it. But this is how you make sure you are about to report the defect is not already reported in the database. So now let me click on the new button here at the top left. So we have a new button. Just click the new button. So this will take you to the list of projects available under Apache Software Foundation. So here, just select JMeter because that is what we are going to report. And here you have to fill the mandatory fields, whichever you see star, red color star, asterisk, it's a required field. So here you have to select the component, version, and the severity, hardware, operating system summary, and you can attach the attachment, and then you have to write some comment. So let us go one by one. So it is already picked up. The product is JMeter and component. So whether you are reporting any defects with respect to HTTP or you are just reporting as a JMeter core. So in this case, our defect is the help button. So this button is a part of a JMeter core component. So you have to just select the main. So here, if you select, it will automatically display the description. generic component if nothing else matches. But if you select HTTP, it will list out the problem specific to HTTP testing. So we are not reporting anything with respect to HTTP. So just select main and then select the version as 5.5 because my JMeter version is 5.5. You can see the version 5.5. So now let fill up the severity. So if you click on severity, you can see there are so many severities: blocker, critical, regression, major, normal, minor, trivial, enhancement. So this defect is kind of falls between minor and trivial. So it is up to you what you feel the severity is. Definitely it is not blocker, definitely it is not critical, and it might be regression. I am not sure because I have not tested in the previous releases. Definitely it's not major or normal, could be minor or trivial. So enhancement is something you do as a developer. You improve the JMeter things. So it is not enhancement. It could be either minor or trivial. So let us go with say minor. If the developer or any community member thinks, okay, the severity is not minor, then they might change the defect status to trivial. So it's up to the developer. But again, it's all about your conscience, your what you think, whichever is appropriate, you just select. But just don't blindly select blocker or critical. Okay. So just go with let us go with minor in this case. And hardware, it is a PC because I don't see any Linux operating system here. So let us go with PC and operating system Linux. So here you can just scroll down any specific distro is there or not. So again, you can see there are various Windows version, Mac OS version, BSD, FreeBSD, HPUX. So there are so many flavors of Unix also there. But in this case, I am using Fedora, which is a part of Linux. And summary. So what could be the summary here? So if you have any inputs, please drop in the comments and just go through the link here. So any comments about summary, please let me know. Please drop in your comments. I can copy and paste. Otherwise, I'm just proceeding with myself here. So summary is we can just say very simple by reading the summary itself. Developer or anybody who is interested to pick this defect, they can easily understand and then they can go with it. So in this case, let me just enter say help button not launching the browser. So if you keep typing, it will also list out the related bug details. So here also you can make sure whether you are about to report the defect is present or not. So in this case, you can just go through the summary and make sure it is not reflecting your defect. So again, it's a unique defect, at least in my case. So let us just proceed with the filling up the description. So here you can just start writing hi team. So I'm using say JMeter 5.5 in Fedora 36 workstation. So we can just say clicking on help button on the toolbar is not launching the default browser with the valid link. So steps to reproduce, you can just add steps to reproduce here. So one, install JMeter 5.5 in Fedora 36. Install OpenJDK 11. Launch JMeter. Click on help button on the toolbar. Actual results. No browser window is launching the say help link. Expected results default browser should be launched with the help link. Okay. So now you can just click on preview. So it will generate the preview, and then you can see the description. So this is the markdown. So if you just type bold this, I guess it will just bold it, I guess. So no, it's not a markdown. Okay, that is fine. So now let me delete this. Okay, now we can just say thank you. Now you can add your name. Okay. So we are good with the reporting the description, and we have filled all the details, and it is time to submit the bug. But before that, what I would do is I will add the log info. So whenever you go to your JMeter, and if you go to options and go to log level, so right now it is info. And if you select all, basically it will capture everything, whatever you do on the screen. Okay. So now if you just click on this log viewer, here you can see, and let me clear my screen. I think there is something is messed up here. Search, reset, search, clear all. Okay. So this is the clear all. And now I'm going to click on this help button. So whenever you click on help button, it is generating some log. So we are going to attach this log information so that developers can see. So before that, I'm going to turn the log level off to info. And let us, I think, let me clear. Let me start over and click on help. Let us copy this. So make sure you navigate horizontally and copy this. Okay, now let me go back to, let me open gedit. Okay, it's not there. I think let us open text editor. Copy this. Let us create a new one. Actually, we don't need. And save this. And here you can say help button log. And make sure you are just make sure you are selecting the right directory. And you can just say .txt here. It's not required, but it still makes sense. Okay, now let us go back to Firefox and click on add an attachment and click on browse. And here I saved it under the documents, tools, or is help button.log here. Click on open. And here you can just say JMeter log info. Okay. So now you are good to submit the defect. So now just make sure before you hit the button, make sure it is everything is filled out, everything is proper, double check. Now you can just click on submit bug. Okay, now you can see bug 66249 has been successfully created and email has been sent to issues@jmeter.apache.org. And here you can see the status is new, reported is my name and product, URL, keywords. So anything if you want to change, you can change here. And then if you just scroll down, you can see there is a save changes button and the status is new. So now the email would have sent to all the developers who are subscribed to this distribution list, and they can check it out, and then they will respond to you in the form of comments here. Okay. So this is how you can also contribute to any open source project. So pretty much all the Apache Software Foundation project works like this, and other foundations they mostly they're in say GitHub issues or GitLab, for example, Kubernetes or any open source projects. We can also find it in GitHub, and then we can report the issues. So this is how you can get started with contributing to open source. Okay, now let me just quickly go through any comments, any questions we have here. Okay, I'm good. I think there are no questions. That is good. So now let me just go to JMeter again, and I'm going to show you another issue which I have found, and then we are going to find the defect. So now let me just go to file and open the bug underscore 2.jmx. So this actually I have found out, I think last month, but I never get a chance to report it. But yeah, now let us report this. Let me just zoom in so that you can see it clearly here. Okay. Okay. So let me quickly go through this test plan. So it's pretty simple. It's not uh, very I mean, very not very critical or complex. It's very simple test case. So here we have a thread group. Simple. One thread, one ramp up, one loop count. All is good. And we have a cache manager. We have a cookie manager, and then we have a request defaults. So in the request defaults, we have example.com. Simple. And I have a loop controller. So loop controller, it keeps repeating for the count you specify here. So right now we have 10, and we have one HTTP request. So HTTP request title is HTTP request, and then it will just print the loop count index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And we have a constant timer, again, pretty standard. We can also put, say, 1 second or 5 seconds, depends. So let me put just 100 milliseconds so that it will run pretty quickly. And we have a view results tree. Now, let me just run this. So just to note down, the loop controller count is 10. But when I execute, it will execute only once. So basically, you can see the index, loop count is index 0. So this is the issue. So why it is not running 10 times? Because we have specified the loop count. Okay, now let me quickly disable the cache manager. So I'm going to uh, disable the cache manager. So I have to just, there should be a shortcut here. Something is messed up in the toolbar. That is fine. Let me just right click and disable and clear all, run it again. So now as you see, it is sending the request 10 times because the loop count is 10. So enabling the cache manager, basically it is erratically behaving. I'm not sure why. So let us keep this inside the loop controller. It's not a good idea actually, but let us do that and run it. So again, it is just one loop. And if I disable, okay, disable is here. Okay, I forgot. So as you see here, 10 times. But if I enable it, it'll be just one. So kind of an erratic behavior. So this defect could be a major. Definitely, it's not critical because you can disable and run it. So I'm not sure. So let us see how what it takes. Let us report this. So what we can do, let me just put it back here at the top, and let us see here. So let me just run it just once. And if I disable and run, it'll be 10 times, right? See? So now let us report this defect in Bugzilla. So let us, what we can do before that, let us change the all here, and let us clear everything and run it. Okay. So now let me copy this and let us open text pad. because we need the logs. So this is loop count 10 issue, a cache manager. You can say with cache manager. Okay. So let me close this. And it has head back to our Bugzilla. So just click on new, just repeat the whole drill again and go to JMeter and select HTTP because this is specific to HTTP because we are involving cache manager. So that is HTTP cache manager. So in this case, you have to select HTTP as a main component. And again, version is 5.5 and severity. Let us pick major. And hardware PC, operating system is Linux. And you can say a loop controller. And then let us see anything is coming up here or not. Interleave controller, loop controller always executes even once loop count is 0. Compute loop is one parent iteration. No, nothing to do with cache. Okay, let me just type cache. So cache, anything is, this is closed. So I don't see any thing with respect to our issue. Okay. So what we can do, we can just let us proceed with the filling the summary. So loop controller not working with cache HTTP cache manager enabled. Loop controller. Okay. 18. So just pretty much standard. So in Fedora 36, because I not tested in Windows. I think Windows also the same behavior because I remember because I was using JMeter in Windows, it should be same behavior. So let us just mention both. So in Windows 11, adding a loop controller and HTTP cache manager is not looping, is looping just one time. Okay, is looping just once. Adding a loop controller and HTTP cache manager to the test plan is looping just once. Steps to reproduce. So we are going to attach our JMeter test plan. Install OpenJDK. And then I install JMeter 5.5. Open the attached JMeter test plan. Enable HTTP cache manager and execute. Loop count is only one. Disable HTTP cache manager and execute again. Loop count is in view results tree. So this also we can mention here. Okay. So expected results or actual result, whatever actual results. So loop count is always one with HTTP cache manager enabled. Expected results. Loop count must be n times with HTTP cache manager enabled. So this should be small e. So can also be small e. Please find the patched log info and the test plan. Okay, thank you. Now we can add the attachment. So just click on add an attachment, browse. So in this case, it is loop count 10 issue with cache manager. Click on open. And then we have to attach the test plan, right? So test plan should be under my home, JMeter scripts, bug underscore 2, open. Okay, I think it is taking only one. Okay, let us test plan. What we can do, let us go back to the terminal or home page here. So yeah, JMeter scripts. So let me copy this. And then where is the logs? So log, it should be here, I guess, tools. Yeah, here we can paste it. Can just compress. Okay, so now we can attach the compressed this thing. So let me just go to tools and logs. And just make sure before you hit submit, make sure you filled up everything properly. Okay, I think we are good. Let me hit submit bug. So 66250 has been successfully created, and you can see email has been sent to the distribution list. So this is how, my friend, you can contribute to JMeter, not just JMeter, any project, whichever you're interested. Just follow the README file. So any project, if you take in GitHub, it will have a README file. So if you just search here, say for example, let me just go to say Kubernetes, right? So here Kubernetes. And usually they will have a how to contribute file. So start using, start developing, support, adapters, governance, roadmap, right? If you just scroll down, definitely you will see some contributing document here. See, contributing. So you can just go through this. Definitely, you can also make your first contribution for any project. So it depends on your interest, whichever project you are interested, whichever language you are comfortable, or documentation or design, anything. Uh, you just need to have a passion to contribute. You can definitely do that, and it will be very helpful for your career growth as well. And particularly if you are using if you are working for any employer also, they might have some kind of open source program. So please check it out before you contribute publicly, so that you don't violate your company's policies. But definitely no employees will block you in contributing to open source. So definitely you can check with your manager or your policy, and you can act accordingly. So this is how you can start your contributing to open source today. So start slowly. That's what I would say. Uh, Instead of directly asking questions, just go through the documents, because including me, nobody reads the documents, right? So make sure you make it as a habit. Whenever you see any project, just go to readme and read it, and contributors documents, read it. And sometimes you might need to sign an NDA. So again, you need to sign an NDA, and how to submit triage issues, how to raise issues. So we have to go through a lot of things before asking any questions in the public forum. Just make sure you are, at least you are adding putting your effort. Then you can ask your question. Definitely there are people who can help you out, and there are a lot of open source projects are available in GitHub, uh, where you can easily get started. Suppose if you don't know how to start with GitHub or Git, there are a lot of open source projects are available where you can learn how to use Git or GitHub. So definitely that will be very helpful for both your career and also in your personal life. So that's a guess from my side. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let me just quickly go through the chat here. So any questions, please post it. I can just respond it. Otherwise, have a good weekend. And in next week, we will come up with other topic. So I have something with respect to Kubernetes. So definitely we can also explore Kubernetes stuff. Again, of course, with the JMeter, how we can use JMeter on Kubernetes, or we can come with some other topic based on my time. I'm just working on the Kubernetes thing. If it is working out, definitely I will be sharing in the next live session. So if you want to donate, please check it out, buymecoffee.com/QA insights. If you want to support me, please do that. So otherwise, I don't have anything to share. This is my agenda today. I am done. So thank you guys. Thank you for the patience initially for the glitches. I think I have opened multiple windows. That's why it is not able to select the right streaming window. So thank you and have a good weekend.